Welcome back. As we continue along chapter 2, we come to our third segment. So far, we have dealt with scientific notation, reporting numbers with the proper number of significant digits, doing calculation with significant digits and significant figures, dealing with the SI metric system, the unit, the prefixes like micro, nano, milli, mega, and all that kind of stuff. And also with derived units like speed, which is distance per time. So now we're going to take those units, which is basically the metric system, which is not what we use here in the United States, and we have to make it in such a way that we can convert one to the other. So on this particular video, we're going to be learning how to convert from one unit to the other with one step or with multiple steps. And then we will finish the chapter on another segment, and that should be the last segment for chapter 2. So let's begin with these conversions. So we're going to be converting units, like I told you before, from one system to another system, or within the same system also. The most common units, for example, are going to be length, mass, and volume. And you can see on this table all the different conversions that we have. For example, we know that 1 inch is going to be the same as 2.54 centimeters. So if I have 1 inch, I have 2.54 centimeters. If I have 2 inches, then I have 2.54 times 2 to convert it into centimeters. And we're going to see that by using these, we call these equalities because they are equal to. So by using these equalities, we can come up with something called conversion factors. For example, like I already said, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. I can write that in a different way, like a conversion factor. 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters, or 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. And this is the same as 1, and this is the same as 1, because we said that they are equal, right? So anything divided by its equal is always 1. So we're going to take advantage of having this equality that we can write like a conversion factor to do what we call conversions, or also called dimensional analysis, which allow us to analyze the unit and convert it from one to the other. So let's see how we're going to be using that. So for example, this question you should be able to answer right away. Which conversion factor should you use to convert 4 feet to inches? So we're gonna, and this is the equality. So we have this equality, which can be written as 12 inches equals 1 foot, right? Or 1 foot equals 12 inches. So basically, the numbers in forms of a fraction. So the question is, which one of these do I need to go from 4 feet to inches? And the way I like to do that is by using what I like to call the train track method. So I'm gonna design like a train track, and I'm gonna say, I want inches, so whatever I'm looking for is gonna go on top. So inches go on top. And if I want inches, that means I want to get rid of the foot. So whatever I wanna get rid goes at the bottom. That way, this cancels with that. So I got rid of it. And then what goes in here then? What are their values? we know that 1 foot, sorry, equals 12 inches, because that's what this is telling us. 1 foot equals 12 inches. So what we realize is, by doing it like that, I already found what I was looking for, the inches. So there was no need to actually do one more rail in there on the train track. So this is basically 4 times 12, multiply everything on top, divided by the bottom. 4 times 12 divided by 1 is 48. So let's do that again. So what would be the answer there? The answer would be 12 inches over 1 feet. So that would be the answer. So once more, let's do it once more, and then we do some more problems. Given 4 foot, can I find inches? Train track, whatever I want to get rid goes at the bottom. That way I can cancel it. Whatever I'm looking for goes on top. And then whatever numbers goes with the unit, I keep it. 12 goes with inch, so 12 goes in there, and 1 goes with foot, so 1 goes there. 4 times 12 is 48. 48 divided by 1 is 48. So that's what I like to call the train track method. Better known in a more mature way as dimensional analysis. So that's what we call one step, because that's what we did. We only use one conversion factor. So let's do these 3 problems then. Conversion factor using one step. So I know I'm just going to use one step. The first one, 7.8 kilometers, and I want to find miles. Whatever I don't want goes at the bottom. That way it cancels. Whatever I want goes on top. That way I keep it. And the question is, what is the equivalence of kilometers and miles? Well, I don't know. I don't know that from memory. So there's a table you can use. You will have that table available during the test. So kilometers and miles. Well, let's go back to our conversions. And here we go. Well, what am I looking for? Kilometers and miles, right there. So that's what I'm looking for, kilometers and miles. And I have 1 kilometer equals 0.6214. .6214 miles equals 1 kilometer. And that way, everything that doesn't cancel, which is miles, is what carries over. And then all I have to do is 7.8 times 0.6214 divided by 1. And you can put that on your calculator. I'm not going to do it. This is not a math class. You know how to use your calculator. 7.8 times 0.6214 divided by 1. What about the second one? The second one, we're still dealing with one step, so that should give us a one step. So having 30.5 milligrams, can I find the grams? So this is given. This is what I'm looking for. So I do not want the milligrams, so I'm going to put it at the bottom so I can cancel it. What I want is the grams. And remember, I told you this number, the number on top, has to be the same as the number at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, remember milli, I'm gonna remember the value of milli, and that's what I'm gonna put in there. So whatever, so I got my grams, I have my grams, whatever milli means goes in there. And therefore, the one on top will be the same as the one at the bottom. So what is milli? Well, let me go back to what I remember. To gain memory, no, doctor, can my microwave nuke potatoes? 10 to the 12, 10 to the minus 12, 10 to the 9, 10 to the minus 9, 10 to the 6, 10 to the minus 6, 10 to the third, 10 to the minus third. And I found it. That's what milli means. Milli means 10 to the minus third, so that's what I put there, 10 to the minus third. So this number, the one on top, is the same value as the one at the bottom. So what goes in here? Just a 1. Just put a 1 in there. So this is what we call the prefix. So always put a 1 in front of the prefix, and then put the value of m on top. And there it is. Milligrams cancel with milligrams. And then all I have left is 30.5 times 10 to the minus 3 divided by 1. And that's going to be nothing more than 30.5, 10 to the minus 3. And then you can convert that to a standard notation instead of scientific notation, which is going to be 3.05 times 10 to the minus 2. So remember, knowing your prefixes can save you a lot of time. So let's do the last one. The last one, we're still dealing with one step, so that's all I need. It's gonna equal something. So given 3.45 quarts, can you find liters? And that's the symbol for liters. So I'm looking for liters, so liters goes on top. I want to get rid of the quarts, so quarts goes at the bottom. That way, they cancel. So all I need is the values that goes in there. Once more, back to the table, liters and quarts. So I'm looking for volume, liters and quarts, and that's gonna be right there. So 1 liter, 1.057 quarts. 1 liter, 1.057. 1.057 equals 1 liter. And that's it. That's the setup for that. 3.45 times 1, everything on top first, divided by 1.057. Put it on your calculator, and that's what goes right in there. So hopefully you were able to see how easy this is. It's easy for human beings because it's a pattern, and the human brain loves patterns. Patterns give the brain a chance to take a break. It doesn't have to think. It just follows the pattern. So get used, even if you know how to do it any other way, I strongly recommend that you get used to do it like that, because when we get like to chapter 4 or 5, we're not gonna be doing one-step problems. We're gonna be doing like probably 6, 7-step problems all together on the train track. So if you do it with cross multiplication, not following this method, you can do it, but you have 6 chances of committing a mistake. With the train track and dimensional analysis, you keeping track of the units. And the possibility of making a mistake goes down a lot. So your choice, but I strongly recommend that you do all these problems using the train track method, because there's something coming in the future. So start developing that pattern in your brain, and then your brain will fly solo. So that's your daily work. You got 4 problems there. Give you 3 seconds so you have a chance to pause it when you're doing it. Okay, that should be enough. And then let's do a multi-step. So how we do a multi-step? Well, we know it's gonna look something like this. We're gonna use several conversion factors, and then whatever we're looking for goes in there. So the first one, convert 7.8 kilometers. So beginning with 7.8 kilometers, can you find how many inches is that? So the first thing we want to do is go to the table and see if you can find kilometers and inches in one equality. So let's go to the table. Let's see if we can find kilometers equals so many inches. That would be one step, so that would be easy. So kilometers goes to miles. Inches go to centimeters. So we don't have one that gives us kilometers and inches together. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go from kilometers to miles first. So let's do that. We're gonna get rid of the kilometers because we wanna go to miles first. That way we get rid of the kilometers and all we have is miles. But we don't want miles. We want inches, right? So let's see if we find one from miles to inches. So miles to inches, meters to inches. Where I can go to meters and then to inches. So how can I do that? Right now I got miles. Okay, so let me rethink this. Instead of going from kilometers to miles, let's go from kilometers to meters. So let's rethink this process so we can connect it better. So instead of going from kilometers to miles, let's go to meters first. So we get rid of the kilometers. And kilometers is the one with the prefix, so we put a 1 in there. And kilo means 10 to the third. So we put a 10 to the third there. So that way we get rid of the kilometers. Now we have meters. Can we go from meters to inches? And yes, we can, right there. So 1 meter equals 39.37 inches. So I want inches. I don't want meters, so I'm going to put it at the bottom. And 1 meter equals, I already forgot, 39.37 inches. 39.37 inches. And that's it. That was a two-stepper. So from kilometers, we saw that we can go to meters because we saw that inches can come from meters. So we connected kilometers and inches by knowing that meters connect to kilometers and meters also connect to inches. So you're looking for those links on the chain, trying to see which one gets me from the left all the way to the right. And then you just do 7.8 times 10 to the third times 39.37 divided by 1. And that will give you your result. Let's do another one. Let's do the second one. So once more, we're doing multiples. Could be 3 probably, and then we get our result. Beginning with 30.5 milligrams, can you make it all the way to nanograms? I'm gonna show you how to do this one multi-step, and then I'm gonna show you how to do it in one step. Something I learned from a student last semester. So the easier way to do this would be to go from milligrams to grams, and then from grams to nanograms. So that would be my plan. From milligrams, I can go to grams. From grams, I can go to nanograms. So I don't want the milligrams, so I'm going to put the milligrams at the bottom. That will cancel that. And I don't want grams, so I'm going to put the grams at the bottoms. And the only thing remaining should be the nanograms, which is what I want. This is the one with the prefix, so that one gets the 1. And milli, we already know that milli means 10 to the minus 3. This is the one with the prefix, so that one gets the 1. And we know that nano means 10 to the minus 9. And that's it. The only unit that didn't cancel was nanograms. So that's what I carry over. And the milligrams cancel with the milligrams, the grams cancel with the grams. Everything on top gets multiplied. 30.5 times 10 to the minus 3 times 1, divided by everything at the bottom, divided by 1, divided by 10 to the minus 9. Whenever you have powers at the bottom, make sure that you understand how to use your calculator. Some calculators require you to put parentheses if you have power numbers at the bottom. Other calculators, you don't have to do it. So figure out how to do it with your calculator. And that's it. Let's do the last one. So on the last one, sorry. Let me show you how to do the previous one on only one step. So if I have 30.5 milligrams in one step, can I get nanograms? I do not want the milligrams because I want the nanograms. I'm going to get rid of the nanogram by putting the value of nanogram there. So nano means 10 to the minus 9. And milli means 10 to the minus 3. So that basically will cancel, that basically will cancel that, giving you grams over grams. So you can see that it's always the same as 1. But I don't want to cancel them. What I'm canceling is the milligrams cancel with the milligrams. So the only thing remaining is the nanogram. And it's going to be 30.5 times 10 to the minus 3 divided by 10 to the minus 9, which was the same thing that we had before. So if you're ever doing something where the conversion factor has, for example, teragrams, and at the bottom you have decigrams, the value of this, you put it on top, and the value of this, you put it at the bottom. And that gives you a conversion factor that you can use in only one step. So let's do the last problem. So on the last problem, we're gonna go from 2.19 picometers all the way to inches. So how do I do this? Well, let's go to the table. Can we connect picometer with inches? Most likely not. This table do not contain prefixes. So what connects the 2 inches? 1 meter equals 39.37 inches, right? So if I go from picometers to meters, then I can go to inches, because the table tells me that 1 meters equals 39.37 inches, right? So those two connect. So how do I connect picometers with meters? Well, let's set it up. Remember, you don't want to think too much, you just want to set it up. I do not want the picometers, so I'm gonna put it at the bottom, right? This is the one with the prefix, so this one gets a 1, and pico means 10 to the minus 12. Picometers cancel with picometers. Now I do not want the meters, so I'm gonna put the meters at the bottom. So meters cancel with meters, and we know that 1 meter equals 39.37 inches. Let me double check that. 1 meter, 39.37 inches. And that's how you will do that one. So once more, whatever you don't want, put the same at the bottom so you can cancel it. Whatever you don't want, put it at the bottom so you can cancel it. The number with the prefix gets the 1, and then you put the value of the prefix, pico on this case, you just put it on top. So hopefully, you can go back and forward here and slow me down if you want. Hopefully you got it now. If not, make sure you watch the tutorial videos. They do a really good job explaining this. And that would be your daily work. You got 4 problems there, very similar to the ones we did. So try to follow the pattern until your brain clicks, and then you don't have to think anymore. I mean, thinking is good, but let's use it for really important things. The brain can do this on autopilot once you practice. What about when we have a number, a derived number, where you have units on top and at the bottom? How we convert that? So let's say that you have a runner runs 48.75 feet in 6.85 minutes. So the speed is 48.75 feet for every 60.85 minutes. And what is the runner average speed in miles per hour? So we want to take this and we want to get it in miles per hour. So we converting the feet to mile. So that means I do not want the feet because I want my mile. And the question is, do I happen to know how many foot do I have in a mile? Well, let's check the table. Let's see, 1 foot equals that many centimeters. We got yards, we got inch. On this table, I do not have it, so let's find it on the internet. The table you will have for the test will be more extended than this. So Siri, how many feet in 1 mile?
5,280 feet.
5,280 feet in 1 mile. Thank you, Siri. So like I said, during the test, you will have a table with a lot more values than the one I just showed you before. So feet cancel with feet. So I already got my miles. What about my minutes? Well, I do not want, the minutes are at the bottom, right? So I'm gonna cancel by putting minutes on top. Minutes cancel with minutes. And I know how many minutes I have in an hour. So 1 hour equal 60 minutes. And that should cancel the foot, the minutes. So the only thing remaining is your miles, which is what you were looking for, and your hours. So when you cancel something, if what you try to cancel is a numerator, then you put the same unit at the bottom. If you're trying to cancel something and it's a denominator like 6.585 minutes, then you put the same unit on top. And that's how we do one that have numerator and denominator. Let's do another one. So a dog eats an average of 30 pounds of hot dogs in one day. So we got 30 pounds of hot dogs in one day. And we want to find how many grams of hot dog eats per second. So how many grams of hot dog can the dog eat in 1 second? Well, so first thing on top, we're gonna have to change pounds to grams. So I don't want the pounds because I want the grams. And I know from memory that 1 pound equals 454 grams. And that takes care of the top number. So I got my grams. Now let's do my seconds at the bottom. So that means I don't want my days, but I don't know how many seconds I have on a day. So I'm gonna say hours. So 1 day equals 24 hours. So the day is gone. But now I need to get rid of the hours. And I know how to go from hours to minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. But I do not want the minutes because I'm looking for seconds. So I'm gonna get rid of the minutes and end up with the seconds. And I know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. And when I do all that, the only thing remaining is grams over seconds. So what I have to do is 30 times 454 times 1 times 1 times 1 divided by 1 divided by 1 divided by 24 divided by 60 divided by 60, and that will give me what goes in there. So you see how we went from 1 step to 2 steps to 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. So by the time we get to chemical reactions, where we're going to be doing what we call a stoichiometry, and you can be doing a stoichiometry with aqueous solutions, where we're going to be using concentration, you're probably going to be dealing with something like that, 4, 5, and 6 steps. So practice a lot now before we begin to use this technique with actual chemistry. So bon appetit, little dog. So that's yours. So this is your daily work. So this is one with two values. Remember that this one probably looks like a fraction. Here's your next daily work. And by the time you finish doing all that, we could say now that we cover how to convert units and how to convert unit that has values in the numerator and the denominator. So when we come back next time, we're gonna see how we can take, for example, 5.0 cubic centimeters and convert that when they have powers. Because it's a small difference on how we do those. And then we're gonna talk about density. So by next time you see the next recording, we're gonna be talking about conversion with powers and dealing with density. And that's it for now. So see you later. Email me if you have any questions or concerns. Take care.